Hey Rattlers, welcome to Strike the Vote, where we're having conversations about navigating the upcoming political arena for our 2020 election. I am Mia Uzzell, a second-year broadcast journalism student from Jacksonville, Florida, and I currently serve as the managing editor of Journey magazine. Here with me, I have my two special guests as always.
Hey, I'm Xavier McClinton, a fourth-year economics student from Brunswick, Georgia, and I have the privilege of serving as the 69th Student Government Association president.
Greetings, Rattlers. My name is Carrington Whigham. I am a junior broadcast journalism scholar and theater minor from Dallas, Texas, and I currently have the privilege of serving as the SGA vice president.
So let's jump right into it. So, this upcoming election is paramount when we come to striking the vote. As many of you may know, according to statistics, Gen Z and millennials account for 37% of the eligible voters. How can we make sure that we take that capacity that we're gonna have in this political arena and create long-lasting change?
Yeah, I think the numbers also show that we're one of the most politically engaged and energized group of folks. Everybody knows Gen Z and millennials are known for having opinions about any and everything, going out protesting and being kind of verbal about our thoughts. So we just have to take that energy and excitement that we have and take that to the polls. I think senior citizens, on the other hand, are ones that they're not in the streets, they're not protesting, but a lot of times you see their issues come to light, you see their issues kind of come to the table because they go out and they exercise their right to vote. So once we get to that point, I think that we'll see a lot of the change that we want to see as a generation start to happen, because the elected officials will have to take us really seriously.
Right.
And piggybacking off of what Xavier said, like, the beauty of this ever-adapting, ever-changing generation is beautiful. Our mindsets are expanding, so that means that our country is, we need to demand it to change as well with us. And that comes with us going to those polls to make sure that we're heard in the manner that's best, which is voting.
Right. And like you said, with Gen Z, statistics show that we're the most involved with community activism as well as volunteerism. And so we have to make sure that shows on those polls as well. We cannot make sure just we're not out in the streets, but we're also in the polls to make sure there's tangible measures. And so speaking of that, using your platform, how are you making sure that your friends are going to go vote? Like, how are you addressing your homeboys in conversations like, hey, what are you doing for this upcoming election? How are you having that kind of political discourse?
Yeah, it's always a weird conversation, especially when you try to say, you want to bring up some political topics and everybody doesn't want to talk about politics.
Right.
They don't want to talk about certain things, but you have to break it down and explain how things affect them on the daily basis. Like, you talk about how their health care is going to be changed or how they may be affected. You talk about how their response to the law enforcement may be affected and may be changed. So I think that once you break stuff down to people and you really open it up and explain it as like plain day, people really see how decisions at the political level really affect them on their daily lives.
I feel like, I feel like because this election, people feel so indifferent about this election, the way that I'm outreaching about Vote 2020 is the fact that these things affect you. People have to have a reason. They want to know their why. Why should I go vote? Because your voice needs to be heard. You matter. Your voice matters.
I think you also have to, one of the things I've learned is you have to focus on issues more than the people.
Right.
I think especially this year, there's not as much energy and engagement around the candidates that you may see on the ballot. But when you talk about the issues that are going to be affected by those candidates, that's where you see,
and that impetus to really get that legislation passed.
So once you break it down and you talk about the issues instead of who's on the ballot or what they want to run for, what their platform, or not what their platform is, but who they are as a person, that's when you really see the people energized and get the energy back.
Right, and so speaking of your why, when you think of history and you think about how that contextualizes this entire election, what moment in time is your why? Like, what moment in time is like, this exactly is why I'm going to the polls?
I think back to back when President Barack Obama was elected. I had the opportunity to go to his inauguration, and I remember being a little kid. I think I was in the 4th or 5th grade at that point, being at that inauguration in DC and seeing support that he had and the energy around that arena, and just really that feeling of optimism and hope. And I really want to help get us back to that moment in time. I remember standing on top of a porta potty because I couldn't see the inauguration itself. Like, my parents put me on top of the porta potty so I can see kind of his speech and the way he delivered in front of the millions of people that were out there. That was the defining moment for me.
That's awesome, Xavier. I was there as well, and just like witnessing an entire country coming together, one, to get President Obama elected, but two, to come out there to show the support that we're going to be there forever, was beautiful.
And that is all that we have for today. We hope that you guys continue to stay tuned in to Striking the Vote, as well as locked into our Instagram page. You can always find our conversations at FAMU_1887. See you all next time.